Good afternoon, or like fairly decent afternoon from my point of view as I'm recording this. Hi, Chris here. Another little toy review. Why? Because I enjoy doing these. I know they're not really like a big seller on this channel, as it were, but I like doing them. They make me happy. Anyway, this is another Marvel Legends review, limited run of the 20th anniversary X-Men figures that started popping up in 2020. I wasn't planning on getting many of these. The only other set that I'm tempted by is the Magneto Xavier one, which as of this recording is on my Amazon wishlist, is on a decently reduced price, and is in the description down below if you want to help us out. If you don't worry about it. But Wolverine, there were two releases of Wolverine. There was a X-Men sort of 1/2/3 jeans white vest bone claw hand, metal claw hand version, and there was this one, the X-Men Origins / X-Men 3 inspired jacket shirt combo version, with claw hands and fist hands, two portrait heads. I wasn't in a rush to grab this, really, but I was pre-ordering the What If Marvel Legends wave on Kapow Toys, who will also be linked below in the description, and this popped up in the sales section. It was going for about £4 or £5 cheaper than usual. I really, really, really... Ooh, is this camera maneuver going to pay off? Really liked the Mystique figure. As you can see, there's a bit of a non-MCU Marvel Legends shelf in my MCU display. So I was like, do you know what? Let's pick him up. Why the hell not? I enjoy Hugh Jackman's portrayal overall, so let's get the figure. As you can see, same as the Deadpool and Mystique releases so far, like no detail on the back, just an interesting silhouette design which carries through to the spines of the box. The nice big yellow X-Men style X in the background, the blue, yellow, and black colour scheme to the boxes. There's a tiny bit of scuffing on the box. When I looked at the reason why he was on sale, it mentioned that the box was scuffed. I think it might also have something to do with the paint smear on his head. If that's the level of the damage, then can I have all the figures that are damaged like that, please, on sale? That'd be great. I know there are folks who keep them in box, who like to have the boxes as pristine as you like, but I just want to open them and display them on the shelf, so that level of damage don't bother me none. Anyway, love the window box design of these figures. Let's crack him open and take a look at Wolverine! Okay, so I don't know how to feel about this guy. Let's get the basic thoughts out of the way first, shall we? So I had, emphasis on had, I've sold a bunch of stuff on eBay over the years. I had an X-Men 2 Wolverine figure. Toy Biz, torso didn't bend, weirdly like thin profile sculpt version of Hugh Jackman's face. Very short claws, but the claws were pretty decent. Like they were, they were a hard plastic. They didn't warp easy. These are a very flimsy plastic, which, like, sure, you're mostly selling this to collectors. I mean, Christ, the box itself says 14 plus on it, so you're not giving these to kids who are going to break them easily, but considering the Marvel Legends can create some really wonderful sculpted rubber pieces. Here's a great example with the Velocity Suit Spider-Man Gameverse figure from the Demogoblin wave. Here's a sculpted web that you're meant to, like, oh god, stick on the torso of a villain or whatever. Oh, you've got him webbed up. This has a shape. There's a lot of detail on it. Oh look, it goes back in place. Oh look, it goes back in place. It resets really easily. And I feel like Logan's claws, if you're going to do them, should be able to reset really easily just in case there's a problem. These ones don't feel like that would be feasible. Also, this is not, like, so paint wash wise, the jeans are all washed out and muggy, like they've got mud on them. Jacket's got a similar decal. It just looks a little lazy. It doesn't look like dust on the jacket. It looks like you've just smeared some, beige paint on it. It's not quite... Like, the shirt's not muddy. The jeans are covered in mud. the jacket's covered in mud, if the shoes were covered in mud, and the shirt was covered in mud, you know, and there'd be more than a couple scuffs on the shoulders, I would buy it. But as it stands, it just looks like it's been smeared a bit. Also, what is with this sculpt? At first I was like, the sculpt's the issue, right? Like, his hairline is so receded. Like, distractingly receded. You know, it's the neutral one, it's not as pronounced. There's like a good extra couple millimeters that really are making the difference. But also, it's a mix of, like, the paint application, like the mutton chops are riding up into the lips. Like they've moved. It's almost like they've got a paint template, like a spray paint template for the face, and it's just sprayed the mutton chops on as and when, and it works perfectly for a neutral expression. But for him screaming, they're overlapping his goddamn lips. It's really odd. Like, you know, paint scuff I'm not too fussed about, but also, like, I think that's Hugh Jackman. But the incredibly pink lips and the mismatched, I don't know. There's just certain things about that sculpt I'm not a fan of. But let's pass the nitpicks. Let's take a look at the figure itself. So, Wolverine, will he stand up? Interesting question, because although it's not the infamous formal boot sculpt on the shoes with the formal pants, it's not too dissimilar from that. So getting him to stand up is a little tricky, and you really don't want him falling over when he's got those easily damaged claws. So, ankle swivel. Foot pivots forward and back with the ankle swivel. It also gently turns left and right. You have a swivel in the thighs, double joint in the knees, which bend quite far, but because he's quite a thick boy sculpt, and he's bent his leg, it sort of looks like he's broken it. Then again, it's Wolverine, so maybe that's what you want. Crotch joint as per. He's got a decent waist swivel. His ab crunch is very nice, actually. The paint of the shirt helps it blend in really well. Doesn't look too odd because of the flannel. The sculpt of the jacket is soft enough. I kind of wish, considering it is a separate piece that wiggles, he came with spare arms with the shirt. If I remember correctly, it's an X-Men Origins costume, with the shirt sleeves rolled up to like his forearms. That would have been really cool. That would have sort of added bonus points to this figure immediately, because at least then you're getting like 2 looks for him. Shoulder swivel in the upper arm, bends at the elbow. The bend isn't too distracting. The thing is, the joint movement on a Wolverine, like having him be that chunky, so that the bend in the arms kind of make him look like he's got, you know, thick limbs, works for a comic book Wolverine. But because this guy is in scale with the figures meant to represent like someone who's 6'2", it's just a bit odd. I don't know why. The wrists go in and out and turn round, and the head is one of those heads where the one of the more recent style ones that Marvel Legends are leaning into a bit more, especially with the comic book characters, which is the old peg head. Let's take a look at the screaming head in detail. I'm really not a fan. I think the paint and the lips ruin it. Like, that angles, you know, like, that's pretty cool, but then you see that the hair's leaking into his mouth. Maybe it's something like a paint fix could help with, but there. Oh, the hairline is receding past the sculpt. It's almost like they made this head, and then this option was, you know, the alternative. It was an afterthought, and they just used the same sculpted piece and didn't quite make it match. Suffice to say, he ain't getting displayed with this head. Now the more neutral portrait, that's great. That is clearly X-Men 3, X-Men Origins era Hugh Jackman. The paint for the facial hair works brilliantly on this version of the head. It's a bit of an overlap there with the scalp, but like, the hair's painted very nicely. The different shades, different colours. His weird little hair horns don't look too ridiculous. The eyes are good. Makes you wonder, like, were these sculpts based on sculpts, or did they like get the actors in for scans years ago, and we're just, you know, not previously made aware of it? Because the figures that Toy Biz put out, like, at the time for the X-Men movies, yeesh. not the best. So, sorry, I'm just trying to position him so he doesn't bloody fall over. Chances of me posing him with his screaming head, second to none. Chances of me posing him with his more neutral head, pretty strong. I feel like the distance between those claws is noticeably wonky, which is a shame. The other one's not so much. He also comes with a spare pair of hands, fists. So if you want a Logan without his claws popped, then you can use those. I imagine they have the same peg system as the other Logan in his vest, so you should be able to mix and match the heads and whatnot with him. All in all, I'm not disappointed with this figure, but I'm not surprised. It's everything I sort of expected it to be, pros and cons. Will he look nice on the shelf with Deadpool and Mystique? Yeah, probably will. How about you? Have you seen this figure in the wild? Do you own it? If you just watched this review, what do you think of this, the X-Men Origins style Wolverine? Let me know in the comments down below. If you want to buy a toy that's on my Amazon wishlist, the menu description has the Amazon wishlist link. I will of course give you a shout out in the review. No obligation. I'm not begging for toys, but if you do want to buy it, then thank you very much. And it's just a nice sign of appreciation for watching this shite. But if you didn't like this shite, let me know. Give it a thumbs down. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. All's good. It's all interaction. It helps the algorithm for the video. Hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.